From JBS Studios in Greater New York, this is the JBS News Update with Teisha Bader.
I'm Teisha Bader with the JBS News Update for Thursday, February the 8th, 2018. A Palestinian tried to stab IDF soldiers at a military post in the West Bank today. The IDF reported that the incident took place adjacent to the Al-Fawar Palestinian refugee camp, which is near Hebron, where a Palestinian approached Israeli troops with a knife. The suspect was apprehended without soldiers having to open fire, arrested, and taken for questioning. Overnight last night, Israeli troops uncovered a stash of weapons in the West Bank. Several pistols, knives, as well as about 2,000 bullets were discovered at a location belonging to a weapons dealer who was arrested, as well as 5 other suspects. Earlier today, shots were fired at an Israeli drone. The IDF said the shots, which emanated from Syria, missed the drone, but hit a house in the northern Israeli town of Majd al-Shams. There were no injuries, but damage was sustained to the home, and Israeli forces were searching the area. And the IDF today posted a video about Operation Good Neighbor, the ongoing efforts of the IDF to help Syrian civilians caught in that country's civil war, which includes medical treatment in Israeli hospitals, as well as food and other items that are transported across Israel's border, as shown here by IDF spokesperson Lieutenant Colonel Jonathan Conricus.
Now we're inside the main logistic facility of Operation Good Neighbor. This is where we stage and prepare all of the goods that come from Tel Aviv before we ship them into Syria. As you can see, we have all of the basic commodities needed. There's rice, chickpeas, flour, and even cooking oil. Now, temperatures on the Golan during the winter can be quite challenging, and for that purpose, the good people who live in Israel on the Golan Heights have come together and collected warm clothing for their Syrian neighbors. With each package, we send them a sign, which uses the old biblical saying that it's better to have a close neighbor than a distant brother. That is our message of compassion to our Syrian neighbors.
Well, Israel has a new ambassador to Jordan. The Foreign Ministry today named Amir Weisbrod to lead the Israeli embassy in Amman, which has been closed since July the 23rd, following an incident where an Israeli security guard who was attacked by a Jordanian shot the attacker, killing him and also accidentally killing another Jordanian. The incident led to a diplomatic standoff between Israel and Jordan. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu recently announced that relations were on the mend after Israel expressed regret over the incident and agreed to compensation. Weisbrod, who replaces Einat Schlein, has actually served in Jordan in the past as well as in Morocco. And Director General of Israel's Foreign Ministry, Yuval Rotem, is heading to Washington next week. The ministry shared on social media that the visit will center around a first-of-its-kind dialogue between the Israeli Foreign Ministry and the American State Department. Undersecretary of State for Political Affairs Thomas Shannon will lead the American side in the talks with Rotem, who will also meet with members of Congress. A statement from Rotem said that this meeting is another expression of the close friendship between Israel and the U.S., a friendship based on common values and interests. Iceland is considering a law that would ban Jewish ritual circumcision. A bill was submitted this week to the Icelandic parliament, making the non-medical circumcision of boys younger than 18 illegal. Iceland does not have a significant Jewish population, but Jewish leaders in Europe are very concerned of the repercussions of such a law if it were to pass. President of the European Conference of Rabbis, Rabbi Pincus Goldschmidt, said that although the Icelandic Jewish community is small, we cannot ignore the dangerous precedent that this law can set and the consequences that such legislation can cause in other countries. Adding, we call on lawmakers to immediately rescind this miserable piece of legislation and continue supporting Jewish life without limits. Well, dozens of Holocaust survivors protested today outside the Polish embassy in Tel Aviv over Poland's Holocaust bill, which criminalizes any accusations of complicity by Poland in the atrocities of the Holocaust. The survivors carried signs reading, "No law can erase history. The Polish law is a slap in the face of the people of Israel," and "Poles, we remember what you did." As we reported to you, Poland's President Andrzej Duda signed the controversial bill into law yesterday. Taking a look now at our programming for tonight on JBS for Thursday, February the 8th at 7 o'clock. It's Talmud Study with Rabbi Mordechai Becker. At 7:30, Dani Danon, Nikki Haley, Jay Sukalo, Natan Sharansky, Robert Singer, and Liz Clayman speak out against BDS, the Boycott, Divestment, and Sanctions campaign at the Ambassadors Against BDS event at the UN. Then at 9, Mark Golub sits down with Matan Peleg and Douglas Altabef of the organization Im Tirtzu, who seeks to educate about the BDS movement. Then at 10, U.S. Ambassador to the UN Nikki Haley talks about the UN's bias against Israel. That's from the 2017 Israeli-American Council Conference in Washington. And coming up right after this newscast tonight at 6:30, U.S. Vice President Mike Pence's address to Israel's Knesset last month. And that's the JBS News Update for Thursday, February the 8th, 2018. I'm Teisha Bader.